Hi, who are you? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Who am I? Why am I here? What's it all about, Alfie? Well, I've asked myself that question. And this morning, I want to share a super exciting, beautifully poetic, magical, mystical chapter from one of my favorite books, A Course in Miracles. It's lesson number 128. And when I ask myself who I am, I have answered that many different ways in the different various chapters of my life. I'm a little girl. I'm a college student. I'm a Christian. I'm a singer. I'm an actor. I'm a bride. I'm a mom. What the heck am I? Who am I really? Like, all those things are transient. As our dear friend Buddha said, life is transient. And it is. That's why he said all our pain comes from attachment. To every single thing we attach to disappears, changes, dies, goes away. I was really super attached to my babies, but babies sure don't last very long. Couple like a year, then they're toddlers, and then they move off to college. But that's another video. Okay, so when I ask myself who I am, oh gosh, am I my body? I hope not. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And my body will eventually get real old and probably die. But am I my body? Am I Susie Porter? Am I these roles I play? Who am I? I was listening to one of my favorite Course in Miracles teachers. His name is James Twyman, and he has a village, and he's just the coolest guy. I highly recommend him. He actually put every single lesson from A Course in Miracles. There's a few that are missing, but almost every one of the 365 lessons he put to music. He sings a little bit, then he says the lesson, and then he says his commentary, and then he does a little music. And his Moses Code meditation, best. It's definitely magical and miraculous. It lifted me out of a real deep depression once. I highly recommend that. But to get back to my point, lesson 128 in the Course in Miracles, Jesus says, what you value, you make part of you as you perceive yourself. So that's kind of an easy thing to recognize, right? If somebody values what they value, then they work really hard to attain and to become. And then so many rich and famous people say, I wish everybody could be rich and famous because then you'd know that it's empty and hollow. And the rest of us always go, well, it's easy for you to say. I remember Marianne Williamson telling me way back in the early 90s when I was probably asking her some really sad question about money. She said, I wish that you could get wealthy so that you would know it's not the answer. And even back then, I said, I know it's not the answer. I just know that being poor is not the answer either. That really sucks. Anyway, I digress. Jesus says to give your mind peace and be still a while and see how far you rise above the world when you release your mind from chains and let it seek the level where it finds itself at home. It will be grateful to be free a while. And this is the line that jumped off the page at me. It knows where it belongs. Free its wings, and it will fly in the sureness and in joy to join its holy purpose. Let it rest in its creator there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. So, no matter what your cosmology, your religion, your lack of faith, no matter what, I dare you, I invite you to entertain the notion that regardless of your current state of mind, happy, sad, mad, depressed, anxious, there's so many emotions. Thank you, Brene Brown, for your latest special, Atlas of the Heart, where she literally like names, I don't know, 85, a ton of emotions, right? We all need to know what our emotions are and to get in touch with them. No matter what we're feeling, there is a still, tranquil, all knowing place within our minds, not just out there in heaven in the mind of God. So many of us were taught, at least I was, back in the 60s or past 2,000 years, that God was some white guy with a beard sitting up in heaven and he knew all the answers. Or that Jesus, who came and died on the cross and rose from the dead, he knows all the answers. But Jesus himself, who channeled the Course in Miracles, says that we know all the answers. There is a part of us inside our minds. It finds itself at home. It knows where it belongs. I love the poetry of the Course. It finds itself at home. It knows where it belongs. It knows yourself, capital S. The mystics call it your higher self. Abraham Hicks, a super jokey fun, what do they call themselves? Collective unconscious. No, not the collective. If you don't know who Abraham Hicks is, it is a channeled group of uh, consciousnesses that speak through Esther Hicks. And they call this part of humans your inner being. And the Course in Miracles calls it our self, capital S. So the whole point of this little video is that I encourage you to give yourself 5 or 10 minutes a day to let that part of you, that deeper knowing, speak to you and to rest. Jesus says, rise above the world. In other lessons in the Course, he tells the most beautiful metaphor of clouds, like your thoughts are like clouds. Feel the clouds on your face. Feel the clouds as you go through the clouds. And he said, keep going. Clouds can't hurt you. Thoughts can't hurt you. Feelings don't feel good, but they're not going to kill you, right? Thoughts, feelings, ideas, beliefs, all of these things are machinations of our own mind, our busy mind. So the invitation for today, and the question is, who are you? And the invitation is to go deep within, to take off the limits and the bars on the doors of your mind, and to tune in to this deeper knowing of who you really are. It knows where it belongs. Let it rest in its creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. Protect your mind, Jesus says. And when you think you see some value in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind, but tell yourself with quiet certainty, this will not tempt me to delay myself. The world I see holds nothing that I want. It's a pretty radical thing to say, isn't it? I have plenty of opportunities living in Los Angeles to look away from images, things that demand that I value them. All of us do, though, no matter where we live, no matter who we are. Our ego mind, our shadow self, as Eckhart Tolle calls it, our pain body, is just doing its damnedest to make us miserable. Marianne always used to say that our misery is our ego's party, joy. Two natures beat within my breast. The one is foul, the other blessed. The one I love, the one I hate, the one I feed will dominate. As much as I don't want to support the idea of duality, there's a strong case that there is a struggle within us, our higher self and our fear nature, love or fear. And fear breeds hatred and division and isolation and pain and all the ills of the world, right? But love is the cure for all of it. Love is the miracle. So who are you? You are here to love and to be loved. Your mind knows deep inside where it belongs, where you belong. Give yourself 5 minutes today to tune in to that deeper knowing within your mind, within your heart. Be still and know. Be still and know. Protect your mind today. Protect your heart today.